everyone. Welcome back. This is part 2 of a 2-part recap. If you're wondering where part 1 was, well, go check in the feed and be sure to subscribe so that way you always get your episodes. But enough of that. Let's get right back into the episode. Time for Kenya more hair care. Well, actually, Kenya's hair spa party time. So everyone's getting ready. Kelly is in an enormous van to pick up Brit. And then Cynthia's walking the red carpet. They've hired all sorts of extras to make it seem like there's a giant crowd because, I mean, who wouldn't want to clamor outside of a hair spa and try to take photos of people? So they're acting like this is the Oscars and it's just a hair spa opening up. And Cynthia's like, I'm so excited to support my girl. I've been there for her journey. I've seen all the ups and the downs, mainly the downs. And we go all the way back to when I had to ban her from the Bailey agency. And we see a clip to 2012, the coochie crack moment. So,
sorry, I hiccuped in your face, everybody. That was so trashy, but I have not been drinking my Topo Chico every episode, but I had one here and I was like, I'm going to have a Topo and immediately got the hiccups. So sorry. Yeah. My bad.
It's rough. So Cynthia's saying, we got history and I couldn't be happier for my friend. Today, we're going to celebrate the Kenya Moore Hair Care Spa, which will be a totally wonderful event where nothing will go wrong whatsoever.
I love seeing the coochie crack moment. That was so funny. So then, Porsche Madre. I'm Porsche Madre. I'm a fashion influencer. I'm outside of Kenya Moore Hair Spa. I'm going to see some hair spa. You're going to see some hair spa. Stay here on my Instagram because we're going to see some hair spa. Like. Hair spa, hair spa, hair spa. Porsche out.
And then Kenya's talking to an interviewer and she goes, well, this establishment is my first brick and mortar. Oh, yeah, I love that. And everything I do is like motivated out of the love that I have for my daughter. So what you will see, everything you will see here in this spa is because of the love I have for my daughter.
I have had some blowjob pictures blown up to life size to honor my daughter. I can't wait for everybody to check.
I'm a boss, and I need her to know that she can be a boss too. A boss that shames people in the most embarrassing way possible. And she can do anything she wants to, except continue filming with Bravo.
Yeah. So then, interviews. And then Miss Lawrence comes. So good to see Miss Lawrence. And, Kenya goes back to her office. She's like, come back. And he's like, I just want you to know you have given me my life in this industry. I was just telling someone the other day, the first person to ever teach me how to put hair clips onto a track was Kenya Moore. And she's like, oh, thank you so much.
This is as close to like a victory lap as they're going to give Kenya. They're like, well, it's going to be your final episode, so let's give her a moment
of somebody appreciating her. He's like, I owe you everything. So Kenya did an apology. Well, not an apology, but she made a statement after the episode aired. And it's long, but it's basically like, you've been my besties for 12 years and you cried with me when they cut all my salon footage last year. But, because she's still trying to pin it that That's she right. did this because production was cutting her because they said that her scenes were unmemorable. So now they're memorable. Well, congrats. You got your scene in. So part of it was at Miss Lawrence. Thank you for gracing us with all your presence, for gracing us all with your presence. You're a star. And I hope to turn our segment into a TV show, God willing. So this segment we just saw is now going to be a sizzle reel to sell a new show for Kenya Moore.
It was almost a backdoor pilot. Yeah. So yeah, everyone get excited for that amazing chemistry between Kenya and Miss Lawrence. So
Kenya going from person to person to show them how to clip hair onto a track. Now there's a show.
Queer clips for the straight guy. So Brit is, meanwhile, in Brit's enormous waffle van, Kelly's waffle van, Brit joins and she has this bouquet and this is like,
it's a pure intention because I take full accountability.
So this will fix everything.
Yeah, she's like,
I hope she accepts my apology because you know what I'm taking. Oh, take a left up here. No, I'm sorry. Take an accountability. Okay.
so Brit also got a card. Guys, she's really going there. She is really going there. Yeah.
Yeah. It was from the shoebox collection, but you know, it was a start.
Those are the best cards. Maxine, get over here, Maxine. Sit next to me. That's my kind of girl.
With those glasses. So so Kelly's like,
Rub-a-dub-dub. Yeah, you 3 men in a tub. Open the card. You're old. Maxine, shoebox greetings.
Kelly's like, you got this. You can do this. And Brit's like, what would I do without you? She's like, no, look, we're going to ride till the wheels fall off. She's like, well,
I hope they fall off because that'll be great for my insurance company.
So
we're just friends, sisters forever. Am I right? Kelly. So then we go back to the place and they're starting models. The models walk and they have like these crazy hairstyles that are really cool. And we see Moneta there, which is nice.
Yeah, Moneta. Did Moneta get a Chiron? I feel like she didn't get a Chiron. Maybe she did and I missed it. But Moneta was sort of like flittering throughout these scenes here. And there was one lady they showed so many times that I was like, are we supposed to know who this is? She had like, she was like a white lady that had like I think she had like a piercing, like was the piercing on the eyebrow or is it under the lip? I forget what it was. She kind of reminded me of Bleona from Euros of Hollywood, but she was in the shot many
Fuck
times.
You, I'm famous. Fuck you, I'm famous. Bleona. Fuck yeah.
Bleona. Gold Lexus. So I wasn't sure if she was someone that we were supposed to know. So anyway, this hair show is amazing. Like we see one model and her hair is like a spider web. Another one is like Marie Antoinette and she has like a bottle of Kenya Moore hair care product that's like embedded in it. And then it's just everything's like it's like amazing and fabulous.
Yeah. So everyone loves it. And then Drew arrives late. I can't believe it. So meanwhile, they're voting, on the hair and stuff like that. And so Portia goes over to catch up with Cynthia and Cynthia's like, wow. I turned my back for 5 minutes and I heard all hell broke loose. Tell me all about it. And so they're talking about the making up, like Angela made up with Brit. Shamia says that she brought Brit and Angela over. And Cynthia's like, wait a minute, you and Angela made up? And Shamia's like, yeah, I apologize. And Cynthia goes, so you and Drew made up too? And she's like, nope, you didn't miss that. That didn't happen.
No. So then back in the van, Kelly is like, so how are you feeling? Like, how is everything going with the family? And Brit's saying how her aunt just died. She had a stroke and it was like all very quick. And that's her dad's sister. So she just like going through a lot of emotions and everything. It makes her think about her dad and it was unexpected. And, she just is in a weird space. And even with the Kenya situation, she's just dealing with all this stuff all at once. So then we go back to the event and Cynthia's like, by the way, before it gets crazy, what happened at Angela's event? I heard she had it at a Bank of America of some sort. And Portia's like, it was a hot mess. So then we see Kenya and Angela are chatting one-on-one. We're cross-cutting between different conversations. And Kenya's like, I really appreciate you reaching out to me after your dinner because you were the only one who reached out to me.
So Angela had texted her like, oh, you didn't deserve that. I was grateful for your presence. You looked so great, and I didn't appreciate what happened to you. But if you need 19 buckets of chicken or 37,000 pounds of Brussels sprouts, I've got you covered. I've got you covered.
Also, my daughter is wondering if she can use your car. She says, now that I've spoken to you on the phone, all your possessions belong to her.
So Kenya's like, yeah, that was ridiculous and uncalled for. And it just escalated and escalated. And Angela's like, well, I'm on your side. So then we go back to Cynthia and Portia. And Portia's telling her,
Brit was crazy. She mentioned that she had a pistol.
And Cynthia's like, wait a minute. Like she was packed? She was packed. Is that what she's saying? She goes, well, we don't know, but I don't know. When you call for it, you're in an argument, I guess so. And she goes, yeah, maybe you don't mention that in an argument. Maybe that was the wrong time to do that.
Yeah. And so they're wondering, is Brit going to come? And they think that Brit is not going to come, but what they don't realize is that Brit is going to come.
Well, there's nothing like showing that you really want to make up with someone by showing up to their event an hour and a half late or whatever it was.
Yes, like missing the entire hair battle, and like you really are making an effort there, you know?
Yeah.
So Kelly's telling Brit, she's like, Portia was there. I went to Kenya's and Portia was there. And we had a conversation and I told them, look, this is not typical Brit. And I said, she takes full accountability, your words, not mine. And Brit's like,
I was wrong. I went too far, and I can recognize when I go too far.
Yeah. I take full accountability. So then we go to Shamia, and Shamia is, still talking to Portia and Cynthia, and she's like, well, she's got to apologize, but I don't know that Kenya's ready to receive that apology. Cut back to the car. Brit's like, hopefully we can be friends after this. I never meant a thing. So then Angela joins Shamia, Cynthia, and Portia, and they're still talking about Brit. Like, is she going to come? Is she going to come? Is she going to come?
Yeah. And yeah, they're still debating about whether they're going to, will the apology be received, etc. So then Brit and Kelly walk in, and the producer says to Portia, like, when you see Brit, what is your first thought? And Portia's like,
is your wig tacked down? Because I tacked mine down even more further.
So then Kenya's taking a shot, and then Kelly and Brit join the group, and Kenya's just ignoring them completely, or at least ignoring Brit. So Shamia's like, well, by the way, if I saw you and she didn't want you here, security would have already escorted you out, And Cynthia's like, yeah, well, Kenya's known for putting people out of events. So they're basically just like laughing about this, like, oh my God, I can't believe she showed up. And then Drew, meanwhile, tries to hug Portia because we have multiple rivalries happening here, and Portia refuses to hug Drew.
And they're doing that thing where they're housewives, it's limited space, so they're all kind of standing in a line to fight. It just seems so like, okay, whose turn is it now? So Drew's like, okay, well, I guess this is my turn. Okay. Oh, come on. Come on, Portia, don't walk away. I won't bite. And Portia's like, not in my face. And she's like, okay, well, I guess I'll just hug everybody else. But I just wanted to talk to you, Portia. I mean, it's just been long enough. We don't have to act like we don't exist. And Cynthia's like, I agree. It's a little awkward. And I've married Peter and Jahil. So...
And I've given Peter a massage on camera. So I understand awkward.
I let Jahil write a book about all the women he slept with while we were engaged. So
Drew's like, let's not be weird. Okay, everyone knows I'm going through divorce. Okay, and it's crazy. So why would I be stupid enough to be messing with Dennis, your baby daddy? Okay, let's just nip it in the bud right now. You can have his hot dog. And she's like, is that supposed to be like cute? That's supposed to be cute. She's like, Portia, it's just singing. Nothing's happening. I'm not doing anything to you, and I don't want to. It's just really dumb at this point. Like, I'm not going to do fake interactions or have problems.
So basically, Portia's like, use your common sense, Why would you bring anything messy with a simple phone call? You could have just said, hey, girl. I mean, that's common sense, and that did not take place. And Drew's like, but we did have a conversation. We did. She's like, Drew, you're lying. You're a liar. She goes, but we didn't have a conversation after my birthday. She's like, just stop talking to me. You don't need to come to me with this energy. So basically, Portia's like, okay, here's what happened. She said we were going to talk, and then I got sick, so I didn't call her. And then after I got better, I found out she was doing all this other shit behind my back, like talking to my agent and all of that. So fuck that girl, because that girl was messy. After I was going to forgive her for the first time she was messy, she added more messiness on top of the messy.
Yeah. I don't know why they're always so surprised when Drew like lies and is messy. It's just like 100% like her thing. So now Drew's gonna act like, oh well, whatever, I've tried. I'm not gonna try anymore with Portia. It's like, okay, good luck, Drew. Like, she's much more famous than you.
But I will try with her agent. I will keep trying to get her agent. Yeah. Keep trying that.
Exactly. So Kenya walks up to the group, and so Brit is like,
here are some flowers I take full accountability.
And she just is like, I just want to apologize and give you these. So Kenya does her favorite move of all time, which is to say hi in a big way to everyone but one person, in this case Brit. She's like, hi, hi. So then
And they're
Brit,
still all standing in a line, which makes it even funnier because Kenya can't even move. So she just kind of nudges past Brit, and she's doing the thing that triggered Brit in the first place, which was ignoring her during a hello. Dun, dun, dun.
Yes. And so Brit, who says that she is takes full accountability, and if Kenya isn't ready to accept it, it's fine. She's going to do what she can do. The moment that Kenya is like, yeah, I'm not interested in this, basically ignores it and ignores the flowers, Brit's like, fine, and then just storms out. Which normally I would say you're being so immature, like you can't, like, you're apologizing, you're making it again about you. But in this case, it turned out to be pretty good that she left, because it would have been, I think, significantly worse had she stayed for the rest of the scene.
Well, I think she did the right thing. Like, she came in, she said, I'm sorry. Look, I think Brit's an idiot, but I think that she did the right thing here. She walked in, she said, I'm sorry, I brought you flowers. She got rebuffed. She said, okay, I'm going to leave these flowers here and leave, because, like, I'm not going to stay at your party if you hate me. Like, I just came to wish you well, so I'll leave if I'm making you uncomfortable. So she leaves.
I didn't get the sense that that's why she left. I didn't get the sense that she left because she was like, you know what, I'm not welcome here, I'm going to leave. I got the sense that she left because she was like, fuck that bitch, which meant that she wasn't actually as, in my mind, in my view, in my world, it meant that she wasn't as apologetic as she was saying she was.
Oh, well, I'm sure she's not. But I just took it as like, okay, fine. And then she went outside. She was like, well, I tried it. I mean, what can you do? You know, I did what I could do.
Like, so I checked that box off for the producers. Moving on.
And now there's no food in there anyway. What do I care?
Yeah.
It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial.
So she leaves, and then now this is the beginning of Kenya's fail. Because what she wanted was for this girl to show up, and she waited because the girl showed up so late. She showed up like an hour something late. So Kenya had to wait for her big plan. So the girl shows up, and Kenya's like, okay, she's finally here. Now's the part where I'm going to publicly humiliate her. So she starts giving this big speech. Hi, guys. I'm so happy that you guys came. This has been a labor of love for me. I built the salon for my daughter, and I'm so proud. Everything's for my daughter, including the load swallowing shots I'm about to show you. And meanwhile, she's trying to do this thing, but she sees that Brit has already left. So she's already lost. So instead of kind of even if she was going to go through with all of this, Kenya didn't like reconsider her plans. She knew they were failing because the girl left. What are you going to do? You can't go through with the plan if the girl's not there. But she saw her leave, and she chose to do it anyway, which was her first big fail. So I'm already cringing watching this. I mean, we know what's coming to a degree, but I'm already cringing like, oh, Kenya, like, this is just bad housewivesery. If you're going to publicly humiliate someone and you let them leave, no, bad.
And she's also humiliating her to like a whole bunch of like randos too. Like, these are what, as Nini would
Twitter
say, the Twitter people.
Yeah, the Twitter
And
people.
it's like, who are you? Like, you're having your big moment. Like, you're being the big fish in the small pond right now. And it kind of is like very sad, you know? And it's like, why are you doing this whole thing? So,
well, and it's a pond you dug, you know, that's even sadder. It's like you're the big fish, but you also have to pay the mortgage and stuff. It's sad. The whole thing is cringe.
So outside, Brit is basically like,
well, I just wanted to apologize, and like, I did my part, and like, I wanted to come in peace, and I extended an olive branch, but unfortunately I couldn't find any olive oil, so I brought flowers instead. I just hope she read my card, because it was a very thoughtful card. Like, it was one of Maxine's best cards she's ever done. And if she ignores it, then that's going to be out of her.
So meanwhile, Kenya's still going on with the speech, even though she lost her main audience. So she's like, you know, I get in situations like the other night at a bank when there was a person looking for a moment and she came for me. And it's like church. People in the back are like, oh, no. They're like responding like it's church. She goes, surprise, surprise. And then that person comes with fake flowers. Oh, no. Well, somebody take these and get them out of here. And Kelly's like, sir, can I just take the card? And she goes, no, get rid of the card too. Get rid of the card too. We're not reading that card. Now, stay out of this, by the way, Kelly. So I didn't escalate it.
By the way, give the flowers. She goes, give them to someone homeless outside. which is like, it's like, it's so like, it's, there's issues on so many levels with that, but it's also kind of like, you're homeless, here, take some flowers. Like, maybe there's something more useful.
Yeah. Do you have any catering maybe to go with the flowers? I mean,
I don't know about that
crackers? Do you have crackers at least?
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, she's like, well, I pay her dust. Oh, when they slow-mo and people are like, oh yes, pay her dust. And she goes, because I am that bitch. I've been that bitch and I'm still that bitch. Oh, I pay you dust.
And then she talked about having a gun because she keeps it on her at all times. She did. So this woman was saying all this
people
stuff.
Are like, oh no.
And the cast, everyone else on the cast is like, where's this going? They are giving you these looks like, and she's like, this woman's saying all this stuff like, you don't know who the fuck I am. And I'm like, you're right. I don't know who you are. So I did a little research. Ha ha ha. And I found out who this bitch is. So now she starts reaching for the foam core that she has assembled her demonstration on.
Her FedEx Kinko's trip pays off here. So she whips out a board and it says, who is this hoe? Which I laughed at. I thought that was funny. Now, it's blurred out, but from what we see, it's only face shots, right? And maybe one in like a bra. So I was like, oh, this isn't so bad. They had me thinking this was a lot worse. So she shows it, and Kelly's like, oh, I'm not doing this. So Kelly immediately leaves, which was a smart move. So Kelly's like, oh, hell no. So Kenny goes, we see these nose jobs, we see lips, we see fillers, all that. And Kelly's like, she needs to
stop
pipe
talking
down.
about your I'm like, enough about your cast. Tell us about what's on the poster.
No kidding, including your own stuff, like for Christ's sake. So Kelly leaves, and I was thinking this is not so bad, but then Kenny goes, well, that's number one. And then we see that she's got 3.
I was like, I saw a few
boards.
I was like,
oh, no.
I saw a few poster boards. I was like, I think this is going to get worse. So then she pulls out the next one, and she's like, well, my private investigators, Bo Deedle, found some more evidence for me. So yeah, she used to be a video hoe. And then Kelly's like, bye. So Kelly leaves. She was a trap hoe, video hoe. Okay. And she's
like, I was in videos, but I was a lead actress. It's like, oh, okay, Kenya. Like you're a sitcom on YouTube. So the girls are like, oh no, what is she doing? So then as Kelly leaves, she goes, everybody's been a hoe in their day. She's been a hoe too. I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
Which, amen. Oh my God. Yeah. If anybody ever had pictures, first of all, they would be the worst pictures ever. I'm sure I don't look very cute doing any of this stuff. So I would be horrified to that. Like, I would be like, oh my God, now look at my waddle. Oh, for Christ's sake.
But it's true. And some people have been hoes. Some people continue to be hoes, and that's okay. It's okay. So Kelly is like, I mean, here you have this beautiful salon, and we're here to celebrate you. Why are we discussing Brit at your grand opening? Which is the true question. Like, this is ridiculous. Especially when Kenya did go on about how her stuff was cut out last season, and it was this beautiful, empowering event. And now she's finally getting to do it. And this is the opposite of empowering.
So Kelly goes outside and gets Brit, and she's like, she will not disrespect my friend. We are leaving. Back to the waffle bus. Back to the waffle bus. And then Kenya continues. And she's like, and then they kept sending me information. And then she pulls out the third board, and then people are grossed out. And we hear someone say, and it says, due to the graphic nature of these photographs, Bravo has chosen not to exhibit them. And then we hear Cynthia go, nobody's trying to see this girl sucking nobody's dick. This is so crazy. Yeah. So
they didn't even show blurred out. It's just
she put up blowjob pics. Wow. That was more than I expected, because I thought all that stuff from the beginning was just fake pictures going around, which I think it still was fake pictures, but I didn't know that it was really this girl going down on someone. That's
but like also like so your big incrimination about someone is that she gave a blowjob. I don't understand. I guess maybe there was more to it, whatever. But like,
well, she's saying she's a hoe, so I think she's saying she was like a call girl, or this is like an OnlyFans or something. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, but like, you know what? Like, it just is such a. It's so shitty. It's so shitty, and it's also so like retrograde at this point. You know, it's like, okay, so she gave a blowjob, big deal. Even if she got money for it, big deal. Who cares? Good for her.
Well, it's just Kenya. That's what Kenya goes to. She's always trying to slut shame everybody. That's like her thing. You know, it's always been her thing. She's got some weird thing about sex that she's like puritanical about sex. It's weird. I'll never forget that Bolo season. Oh God, Kenya was so fucking insufferable during that whole thing. So, yeah.
Well, she came up through she came up through the Miss whatever pageant it was, because now I can't remember if it was Miss
Universe,
USA or Miss
right?
America, Miss Universe
Or USA. You're right. No, you're right. It was USA.
And it's like that, you know, the pageant world is conservative, and I wonder if there's still some sort of like there's something about that world that has stuck with her in some ways. I don't know. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't justify anything.
Well, there's a lot of that with people in our age range too, because that's how we were raised. You know, it was very different. There wasn't like OnlyFans. Like you couldn't see your teacher on the OnlyFans. You know, there weren't people in the carpool line at school in the OnlyFans. It was like a more puritanical time, and I guess that shit stuck with her. You know, like growing up, I had to get rid of I've had to deprogram from a lot of that stuff, and I'm sure there's still a lot of it in there. I mean, I grew up very conservative Christian, as you know by this point, so there's still a lot that I'm having to like deprogram from. But yeah, she's probably got a bunch of baggage from back then. But anyway, who cares? It doesn't excuse any of this shit. So the girls are disgusted. Everyone there is like, oh, hell no, this is too much. And Shamia says, that's too far. And she goes, no, it's not too far, bitch. She's threatened me with a gun, so don't tell me it's too far. So now you're calling people bitch. So it's getting worse.
No one likes this. And so now Kenya's like, who is trying to take food out of my daughter's mouth? That's what this is about. So thank you very much for supporting me. I'm like, you cannot put these pictures up on a poster board. Like, without consent of this woman giving a blowjob in front of a group of people. It's mortifying. If Brit were there, it would have been so mortifying for her. It's actually like it makes me sad for how mortified she would have been. It doesn't matter what the context was coming up to it. It would have been totally mortifying. And then you cannot frame it like this is actually a sanctimonious deed for the sake of like food in your daughter's mouth. You are the one who
took food out of your daughter's mouth? No one took food out of your daughter. Now she's turning into this whole thing. She tried to take food from my daughter's mouth. When did she do that? By saying she had a gun in her purse. Give me a break.
You are the one taking the food out right now.
Yeah, Portia's like, I'm mortified, and I'm not going to stand here and pretend I'm in agreement. I'm out of here. So she leaves, and then Kenya goes, and now don't come for me. And someone goes, unless I send for you. And she's like, thank you.
It was so sad because everyone's like horrified, but then there were a few people that were like, unless I send for you, can I go now?
Yeah. And Cynthia's disgusted. She's like, what's lower than hell? What's worse than hell? Whatever it is, that's where we're at. So no one likes this. So people start leaving. People just start leaving this event. They start like filing out of there. And by the end of this, there's no one left, which I liked. I was actually proud of people. I was like, not, of course, Drew stayed, but everybody else was like, see ya, you know, fuck this. Even the audience was like, bye.
It was like the end of Cruel Intentions. It was like, it was like something you see in a movie where people are like horrified and leave. Someone's like going down in flames and everyone just slowly backs out of the room and they're left alone. You know, it's like but it really happened. And everyone's upset. I mean, Cynthia's like, she basically says to her, she's like, look, I'm just gonna say this really quick. And then I'm going to go. I didn't see what happened. I'm getting to know Brit, but I know you. And I really hate that you let that in because I think you're bigger than this. I think you're way bigger. This is her way of being like, you fucked up. You should not have done this. And this was, you messed up big time.
And Kenny goes, well, I am better than this. So glad everybody came. Love you. And Cynthia's like, yeah, congrats. Love you. I'll call you later. So she leaves. And Kenya's going on about, I'm not going to tolerate people blatantly disrespecting me. And Portia is outside and she's like, production, we're ready to go right now. Because they're all just standing out there with no ride, you know. She's like, we're leaving. And she's like, I don't even want to be on this camera. Take off my mic, you know, and turn that camera off for me. Take my mic off and turn that camera off. Because you can just act like I was never even at this event. And then we see on screen, based on Kenya's behavior, the decision was made to cease filming with her this season. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, and it's interesting reading the stuff people are bringing up online, like, you know, because, you know, people on the internet will whip out all kinds of receipts. And they're like, well, why wasn't this a problem when Vanderpump and Kyle did this in that limo where they whipped out that Playboy and they were laughing at Camille's naked pictures. Well, I mean, I don't think that was great either. So I'm not going to, I wouldn't excuse that. Camille wasn't sucking anybody's dick. And that was something that Camille consented. That was like,
It's published.
consented to. It was published in a national magazine. That was actually something that people were proud of. To be in Playboy was a huge deal. Like that was, that was good. You know, that was considered like an honor. And yeah, that wasn't great that they were sitting there, but they weren't like showing the camera and like slut shaming Camille at the same. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't want to have to excuse that, but I don't think it's the same. I don't think it was right, but I don't think it's
and this
the
was
same
done
thing.
in a really vindictive, nasty way. You know, I mean, the tone shouldn't really affect it, but like it is a consideration. And this was done in a way that it was meant to hurt and embarrass. And it was really, it was a low. It was actually a low because it's also like, it's not what Bravo's about. No, I don't think any network is about this, but it's definitely not what Bravo is about. And so it was,
you know, it was bad taste
misstep.
and it was very poorly executed. You know, Kenya giving her big revenge speech when the lady already left the room and then just not being able to read the room, that people were just totally grossed out by what she was doing. And then everybody walking out like slowly as she just kept on going and going. It was just sad to watch that kind of demise for someone who's been as good as Kenya. But as someone who's like detested Kenya for the way she's treated people for years, there's part of me that was like, well, you know, this is actually kind of a fitting way to see Kenya go out because she's been an asshole. My God, she has been an asshole. So, you know, but then there's also a big part of me who's a fan of this show. So I love what Kenya's brought too. So, I mean, I'm mixed.
I know
on the feeling.
I'm like, as a viewer, I'm also upset because I feel like the show, to me, as I've said before, I feel like the cast chemistry is back and the show has been doing really well. So to see that someone getting fired, you're like, oh no, like hopefully the show, like the season was going so well. So I'm hoping it doesn't like get all messed up. But do you think that there was a producer who was encouraging Kenya to go down this path, who was like, oh, why don't you should do like a poster, like do some posters and make a whole moment, you know? And you think this was just purely
no, I mean, maybe, you know, I mean, I watched
Unreal
too. I think Kenya would have thrown them under the bus because Kenya's already been all over. She's been giving statements every week as this has been happening, like how it's so unfair to her, you know, and I think she would have thrown them under the bus and been like, a producer told me to. Also, she keeps saying she hired a PI for this girl since that bank event. She was so offended at the bank event. But how long did your PI? No one else seems to be able to find these pictures. I haven't been, you know, I mean, I searched. Why not? Just to see what the big deal is. I haven't found anything. So that doesn't mean a lot. I'm not a detective. Anyway, my point is, if she hired a detective, how long did that take? And had she already been planning to do this before the bank event? Because it looks like this is a lot of poster board and a lot of research to be done on somebody in a couple of days. So,
well, you know, someone probably said it to her ahead of the season. Because, you know, people will send shit. They'll be like, oh, I heard this girl is going to be on your show. You should look at that. Like, people will send stuff because they're hoping that they can be in the mix in some way. Yeah, so I would not be surprised if it was actually just fell into her lap. But what I was going to say,
I guess I bring that up because it shows more premeditation. You know, like how long did she have this stuff? And how long was she planning on blasting this lady anyway? And then this lady said something about a gun and Kenya was like, that's it. Because a lot of the arguments I'm seeing are like, well, this isn't fair because Kenya went to producers and said, this girl threatened me with a gun, and the producers didn't do anything to the girl. And so that's why Kenya took it into her own hands to try and drive this girl off the show. Well, that still doesn't justify it. And it does look like the producers talked to Brit and that she did try to rectify it by apologizing profusely in every scene and bringing flowers and all of that. Now, is it too little too late? Probably, but I don't think it justified this outcome.
Either way, like Kenya's reaction across the board, and maybe this was part of her apology tour or not apology tour, statement tour, but her reaction should have clearly been like, I took it too far. I thought I was being clever and funny, and in retrospect, I should not have done this. Like, that's what she should have done. And instead she's really been kind of like, I'm living my best life now after the show, and it's just not like, she's just handling across the board, she's handling it incorrectly. And it's just so sad too, because it was such an easy It's such an unforced error on her part. Brit is acting like an idiot. No one was on Brit's side. Brit could have come with those flowers, and Kenya could have just said something really petty and shady to her and dismissed her. And we would have all been cracking up and been on Kenya's side. And we would have been like, that's right. Like, you came for the queen and you're a peasant. Kenya would have set herself up to have had actually probably one of the strongest seasons she's had in a while. And she just totally messed it up.
Because to come now and be like, oh, and the producers never showed my salon last season. You were barely showing up last season, as I recall. That season was a nightmare to watch. It was so boring. It was so excruciating for what you were lacking that season. And a lot of you, and like refusing to shoot with Marlo and doing all of the stuff that had been happening on the show for the past few years. And Kenya's just bringing it out like, oh, but they never showed my salon and they showed all of Candy's businesses and never me. It's like still woe is me, and I'm not saying none of that is valid. Basically what I'm saying is any of Kenya's complaints about being a victim are now invalidated because of her own
100%
bullshit. So whatever, Kenya.
There's also this element too of like whether you like her or hate her, Kenya is, I think, widely acknowledged to be one of the greats to come out of the Housewives.
Agreed.
One of the greats. And for her to go out in this way, like I don't think we want any of our greats to flame out like this. If they go through the whole season and then after the season's done, they quit and then they have some sort of weird Bethany Frankel like flame out, whatever Bethany does, then fine. If you want to sully your legacy, fine. But like to actually be kind of like fired mid-season because you did something so disgusting, it's just bad. It's so sad because you're better than that. And I don't know. Do you think that there's a way back for her?
I have a feeling she'll be back next year. I feel like she could do an apology.
There's part of me that feels like that could. That's what I think too. They said just aside
from this, I think she's had a great season. I think showing her in a friend of role has been great. Just showing her at group events has been really good. I think she's been really excelling. I think she's had one of her best seasons in the past few years. Not ever, but after the past few years. I mean, this has been a really good one for Kenya. It's like it's less work. She's more able to she shows up more. She kind of puts more effort into the show when she's there, so I think it's been one of her better seasons of the past few years. So I have a feeling they'll bring her back. I think they're just maybe punishing her for now.
I think they bring her back and then they have her do something, shoot scenes where she says, I was in a really dark place and I let my emotions get a hold of me, and the truth is I hate that I did that, but Mark was making me feel this way.
Oh, Mark.
Just hit all the notes. Like it's all there for you. Just do that.
Yeah.
Show contrition. Show that you realize what your mistake is, and then come on back.
Yeah, I have a feeling she'll be back, but we'll see. Time will tell. And I have a feeling Brit will not be back because Brit is excruciating, and I feel for Brit in this episode. But God, get rid of her.
Well, they can't. I feel like they can't bring Kenya back and then get rid of Brit. I think they both come back and Brit gets one more. If they bring Kenya back, then Brit comes back for one more season. If Kenya does not come back, then they get rid of Brit, I think.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Because I love Angela. Yeah. I think Angela's a great addition. I think Kelly's okay. Like I like Kelly. Okay. I need time for her to warm up. She's a little too much for me right now, but I see promise there. But Brit,
it'll be interesting to see if like how it changes once Phaedra comes back into the mix, because Phaedra then swoops in, and and again, by the way, it's significant. Phaedra's back, and it's when Phaedra left, she made up really terrible rumors about Candy, like libelous, slanderous rumors, whichever one it is. One's writing, one's speech, who knows? But so people make their way back. So I think Kendall will make her way back.
We'll see. Time will tell. Well, in the meantime, it was another two-parter for Atlanta. Wowee. Well, we'll see you this weekend, you guys, in Boston, Detroit, and Chicago. Then a couple weeks later in Texas, Austin, and Dallas, and then in Vegas. So go get your tickets over at watchwhatcrappens.com. Also, check out my Instagram because I'm doing an Italy travel log over there. That's kind of fun. Go check that out. And then we're going to be doing White Lotus in just a minute. We've got a big, massive White Lotus finale recap coming out on Patreon. So join us for that as well. Get all the tickets and links for everything over at watchwhatcrappens.com, and we will talk to you next time. Okay.
Bye. Watch what Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Our way is the Amber way.
It's the Foster and the Furious. It's Amanda Foster. It's always automatic with Ashley Auto.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
Put your hands together for Carly Clapp. Catherine DiBernardo has our Hardo.
Get on the right foot with Chrissy Offutt. Dana C. Dana Do.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Etchels.
We never miss her call, it's Diane Call.
Erin McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas.
Hava Nagila Weber.
You'll never hide from Heidi Eleanor Jones. I go, you go, we all go for Hugo. Jamie, she has no last namey. We could all learn from Jennifer Kearns.
She's our kind of mess, it's Jennifer Messer.
Sipped some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
Knock, knock, knocking on Katie Mannock's door. She's our favorite streamer, Caroline Peacock.
Kristen the Piston Anderson. Get a bee in your bonnet with Lacey B.
Rigging the funk, it's Leslie Plunkett.
She gets an A from us, it's Lindsay D. Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino. Fresh as a daisy, it's Maisie McHenry. We love her on the rocks, it's Melissa Cox. Megan Berg, you can't have a burger without the Berg.
This is Livin' with Michelle Vivian.
I love ya, Olivia Williamson. Tastier than Flanderson, it's Rachel Manderson.
She sure is swell, it's Raquel.
Yes, we canna, it's Savannah.
Cast a spell with Shannon Spellman. Let's share with Sharon Eldridge. The Bay Area Betches.
And our super premium sponsors. She's VVIP, it's Amanda V. Can't lose when you're with Amy Baldwin.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides. Let's go into the woods with Guy Tubbs.
Who, what, why, where, and Gwen Pentland.
It's our queen, it's Queen Laifa.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall.
Know your worth with Jason Kurth.
We got our wish, it's Jen Plish. She's not harsh, she's Jill Hirsch. She's a little bit loony. Junie. My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo.
She gets an A, it's Kelly B.
We love him madly, it's Kyle Pod Shadley. We're ride or die for Lisa Ryder Barron. She's a whiz, it's Liz Sarthy. Always killing it, it's Lola Alkalani.
The incredible edible Matthews sisters. She eases our woes, it's Melissa St. Rose. We're on the floor with Molly Dorset.
Give him hell, Miss Noel.
There's a chance of meatballs, it's Rebecca Cloud.
She's the queen bee, it's Sarah Lemke. Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
It's always a good time when you're wasting time with Bravo. She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.